Hello, my fellow Alaskans. How are we all doing today in this beautiful Friday afternoon? Weather is supposed to be warming up. Storms are supposed to be moving through south central Alaska, and the blizzards are about ready to begin once again, if not sleet and rain, depending on where you're located at, or you may get inches of snow. We are about ready to start the Senate Education Committee's meeting on Senate Bill 14 RIP, Retirement Incentive Program. It begins out sounding like, oh, we're going to bring back retired teachers, allow them to keep getting paid their retirement program benefits that they received, and then so that we could help retain the workforce. But the further you get into the bill, the entire objective of this bill becomes very clear. This is just House Bill 22, Defined Benefits Program. That is all this is. They're masking it as an education reform for their retirement program. In reality, it's bringing in the statewide crippling defined benefits program, and we are about ready to give public testimony. You can find in the description that I have given for this video up above the phone numbers that you can call if you cannot get through the 800 number. Please call the local Anchorage number or the Juneau number direct numbers if you can't make it through the 800. They have been having issues making that work here the last few days. They are getting close to getting ready to get started there in the background. I can see them there talking. So again, please don't forget to like and share this video. Take the time. You can find it live right now on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, at Politadick and Politadick Unfiltered. You can also tune into this on our website at politadick.com. Always live there whenever we are live. And while you're there on our website at politadick.com, click that support button. Help us grow. Help us to be able to afford to be able to take time off of our regular work to be able to do live streams like this. We will be this Monday live streaming Kelly Chewbacca talking about our democracy and protecting our elections and getting rid of ranked choice voting. Don't miss out on that one. And I'll probably be doing a live stream or two before that. Looks like they just gavelled. Here we go. Make sure to call in right now.
3 p.m. on Friday, February 10th. We are in the Belts Committee Room of the State Capitol. Good afternoon, everyone. I call this meeting of the Senate Education Committee to order. It is 3:30 p.m. on Friday, February 10th. We are in the Belts Committee Room of the State Capitol here in Juneau. I please ask everyone to mute their cell phones. Members present today is President Vice Chair Gary Stevens. We have Senator Elvira Jackson. We are joined by Senator Jesse Bjorkman. I know Senator Jesse Keel is running a few moments late, will be with us momentarily, and myself, Senator Lukey Gale-Tobin. Let the record reflect we have a quorum to conduct business. I would like to extend my special thanks to Sydney and to Mary Gwen for holding down the fort, and also special thanks to my substitute committee aide, Trevor Bailey, who is celebrating a birthday today. Today, the committee will hold its second hearing on Senator Kawasaki's Senate Bill 14. This is to implement a temporary retirement incentive program for public employees. We'll be taking public testimony. For those who would like to provide public testimony, they can call in. If they are in the Anchorage area, that number is 907-563-9085. If they are in the Juneau area, that phone number is 907-586-9085. And in all other areas of Alaska, you can call 1-844-586-9085. You can also submit your public comments to our Senate Education email, which is senate.education@akleg.gov. All right, are you ready? I believe we have Senator Kawasaki's aide here to help remind us of what this piece of legislation is seeking to do, and then we also have online Melinda Voigt from the Division of Retirement and Benefits, and she will be helping us walk through any questions that we might have or any other issues. Hello, Mr. Hayes. If you would please identify yourself for the record and remind us what this legislation is trying to do.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Joe Hayes, staff to Senator Kawasaki, and a quick overview of Senate Bill 14. Senate Bill 14 would implement a temporary voluntary retirement incentive program to increase state savings by allowing public employees to retire up to 3 years early and to set in statute a way for school districts to rehire retired teachers through a 12-month contract. Long-serving public employees are among the highest paid in the state. In many cases, pensions paid to retirement employees will cost the state less money than current salaries. Providing high-salary employees the option to retire early would save Alaska money through lower personnel costs. And with that, Madam Chair, we're open for questions, or if folks would like to speak to Ms. Voigt, we're ready for that also.
Excellent. I know that we did not go through the fiscal notes last time. Would you like to walk us through the fiscal notes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have two fiscal notes. The first one is from the Governor's Office, OMB. The first year is $110,000, 85 general fund, 25 general fund program funds. And the second fiscal note is from Department of Retirement and Benefits, and FY24 we're looking at a total cost of $783,000, and then in FY25 and FY26 a total cost of $793,000. When this bill was introduced last year, we had an indiscriminate fiscal note for these amounts. So, and yes.
All right. Are there any questions from the committee? Ms. Voigt, would you like to make any additional comments?
Through the chair, no, I do not.
All right, well, seeing no comments here, we are going to open public testimony. I now open public testimony for SB14. Is there anyone here in the room who would like to testify? Seeing none, we're going to go online, and I do see that we have one individual from Big Lake, Bert Houtalling. Bert, if you could please put yourself on the record and begin your testimony when you are ready.
Hello, my name is Bert Houtalling, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to testify here today. I represent myself, my child, and about 5,000 Alaskans that love listening to what I have to say about Alaska politics. Currently, I'm not in favor of SB14. The incentive program, when you first begin to read the bill, sounds really wonderful, bringing back old teachers that have retired, allowing them to keep their pensions and programs available to them through a 4-year period, allowing you to retain a workforce to be able to keep them out there while you're trying to bring new teachers in. Where I find the problem is where you get a little bit about midway into a quarter of the way through, and you discover that now this has turned into a defined benefits program. You know, the bill that's being pushed through the House right now, SB52, it is extremely resembles exactly what that is. We've already been through this in our state. It nearly bankrupted us. It put us billions and billions behind. In fact, we still have over $4 billion in debt that we still have to try to cover. That's a negative on our books every single year. Our municipalities just here in the Mat-Su Valley is $400 million in the hole trying to cover up these defined benefit programs that you have. You refuse to give a fiscal note today, obviously. You want us to be testifying on something we have no idea what the end cost is going to be. What is this going to cost the municipalities? What is this going to cost the boroughs? How much more money are they going to have to come up with to match what you guys are trying to put into the program? It seems to be lost when you're talking for like bills SB52 and the base student allocation. You're all fine and dandy saying it's just $1,000. Well, if there's only 130,000 students in the state of Alaska, how do you come up with $250 million? It seems like the new math you're teaching is falling through into the senior leadership there in the education committee, and maybe we need to get back to a hardcore curriculum of teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic back in our schools. Quit trying to plug the money into the pockets to push this ideological agenda that is indoctrinating our children and is not helping or benefiting anything. If you want to retain teachers, stop hamstringing them, trying to make them the parents of our children, and actually let them be teachers teaching our children. Parents' job is for the parents, and the schools seem to be taking that over, and it is really, really saddening to hear. I am all for bringing in the retired teachers that have retired and allowing them to continue on educating our children, receive their benefits while they're doing this, and being able to not to opt into new retirement programs. But reading after 4 years that now they could actually option into a more of a defined benefits program like SB22, like being offered by the police officers and the firefighters, it states it right in the language of the bill. This really needs to change. Thank you so much for allowing me to testify here today. I am a definite no for SB14 and SB52.
Thank you, sir. Seeing as there's no one else online and seeing that there is no one else here in the room, I'm going to close public testimony for SB14. All right. I do want to note that the fiscal notes are available on basis for SB14. They are available underneath the bill on akledge.gov. So if individuals are looking for that information, they should be publicly available for everyone to evaluate. With that being said, are there any additional questions from committee on this piece of legislation? Excellent. Well, I'm going to set a amendment deadline for end of business Thursday, February 16th. That's end of business Thursday, February 16th. If you could please work with my office to get those amendments drafted by Ledge Legal, I'd really appreciate it. Also, I'd like to note that we did have SB52 scheduled for today, but we will not be taking action on that legislation. The amendment deadline for SB52 is end of business today. We will continue closely examining SB52 and we'll bring it back up at a later date. Once again, I would just like to wish my committee aide happy birthday. With that, seeing that there's no other business before the committee, I'm going to conclude this meeting at 3:39 p.m.
Wow. Oh, wow, 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 wow. That was unbelievable. All right. So last time when it came to public testimony, oops, sorry. Forgot to turn my phone back off again there. The SB50 or SB14, the RIP Retirement Incentive Program that they have there for the bill. Obviously, there is only one person there ready to testify on this, and they were supposed to be also talking about SB52, the base student allocations, directly afterwards. And you can see how they cop out on that one. They're doing everything they can to make sure that us, the public, does not find out the full information on what the cost involved in all this is. They don't want that publicly out there being stated on record. As you could hear when it came to SB14. Oh, you can go and find it under the fiscal notes in the Alaska Ledge to be able to go find out more information about what the overall costs are going to be. Well, I would like to see them broken down in front of me. I'd like to have somebody teach me what those numbers actually mean. Not just have you expect me to be able to be smart enough to be able to figure that out all on my own. I mean, that is why we have legislators in Juneau to do the hard work. So us dumb Alaskans who just don't care, don't only understand this much of what's going on in Juneau. I wonder why that's all we know about what's going on in Juneau. So you only heard the one person testify, and boy, did he lay into them. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed the testimony that was given. There was a lot more colorful things that wanted to be said at that particular moment in time about their corruption and how Ms. Tobin there, the chair of the committee herself, is the ringleader of the NEA organization of Alaska and is highly indebted to the education system here within our state. She's been hobnobbing solidly the last 2 weeks with them, one event after another, and she's constantly using that to her advantage to get everything she wants in the world. And it's really, really sad that we have this occurring. And it seems like I'm pegging out your guys' eardrums. I'm going to let's do a little bit of volume check there and see if that helps things out a little bit. No longer pegging in the red. It's sad that there's only one person that testified, that the only person was me. And we really did need a lot of people on this bill calling in. This is like SB22, the Defined Benefits Program. This is just the Education's Committee way of sneaking it in for the school teachers of Alaska, for the Education Department of Alaska, another 20,000 more employees to get racked onto defined benefits. And they claim they've broken down the end costs of all of this, but I'll guarantee you they have not. They have not broken down where is this money coming from. You won't find that in their fiscal notes. I'm pretty sure if you dig in deep into it, you're not going to find in the fiscal notes how much money the municipalities or the boroughs of our state are going to have to come up with matching funds to cover these defined benefits. The Mat-Su Valley is already approximately $400 million in the hole right now to the defined benefits package that we've had before. And SB14 is just another version of bringing that right back and driving us further into debt. We need to put a stop to this. Alaskans need to get active. Alaskans need to start taking action. If you did not get a chance to call in because they gavelled out immediately after I testified, because I was the only one there ready to be able to do that today, please send them an email. Send the chair, Ms. Tobin, an email, and let them know, the Senate Education Committee and Ms. Tolman, know what you feel about them bankrupting our state with these defined benefit programs that they're calling Retirement Incentive Program, or RIP. For me, this bill needs to do exactly what its initial state. It needs to rest in peace, be buried 6 feet under, and not see the light of day again. That is where this bill belongs. But you can see how much the Education Committee is willing to try to cover this all up. They've done the same thing with the student-based allocation formula too. That information, they have not broken down what it's going to cost on a municipality level. They haven't broken down what it will cost on a borough level. They don't care how much it's going to drive up our property taxes to cover all of this. Where do you think our municipalities and our boroughs get their money from? It comes from our property taxes. And if the state increases what they're spending, they have to match based upon the laws we have. The municipalities and boroughs have a matching amount that they got to come up with too. Unless, of course, you're in places like the Bethel, where, you know, they don't have no taxable income there for properties. It barely pays for their local government, and that's for their community councils, let alone trying to pay for everything else. No, they're 100% funded by state money. Their sole survival is state money. It is government institution. It is the healthcare. It is the universities that sit in Bethel that keeps the hub communities alive. And the only reason why there are jobs and the need for jobs in Bethel is because of healthcare and the university that is there. Otherwise, there is no real work. Subsistence living, it's not really making them much of a living if they're constantly only able to survive off of state dollars or subsidiaries, or getting the power cost equalization to their fuel costs every single year. I mean, I don't envy these places. The school districts need to take the time. They need to reorganize. They need to be restructured from the top down, torn completely down to their base foundation and built back up again, starting with the administration and also with the amount of school districts they have. They need to reduce them down to 20 districts. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There is no negotiation on my end. I'm being generous and giving you 3 more than what the consensus is throughout the state for how many districts we should have within our state. So I'll give you 20. Remove the other 34. Get rid of them. Eliminate all the administration that belongs to those 34 additional districts. Say bye-bye. There, right there, you've almost cut 1/3 of your overhead off of the school budget. Next, time to look at what really matters. Reading, writing, arithmetic, STEM. We need to make these our priority for our education in our schools. I am more than happy to have band, art, gym class. Those are all necessary to help, help keep you a well-rounded person. AP classes for foreign languages. I'm all for that. But why are we teaching elementary school kids languages that are only spoken in our rural communities? It's not mainstream. You don't find everybody going down the street talking in these languages. You don't go to other places around the world and hear these languages being spoken, only in Alaska. But we have specialty schools teaching that. Why are we wasting our educational funds on that? We need to really change the way we do things. Our schools are a disaster. We are the worst in the nation. Our teachers don't need a better retirement package. What they need is to be brought back down to reality and start teaching the core values of an education: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Start making sure they're proficient at it. We are ranked the worst in the nation. I mean, fourth graders, 24 percentile is what we have right now with reading proficiency. We are around 40 to 50% for our math proficiency at the same grade level. Don't even get me into what it's like going into high school, let alone all the remedial classes that have to be taken if you want to go to college after getting an Alaskan education. Unless you are an extremely bright individual that picks things up immediately, you won't get a quality education within our education system. They are more worried about being nannies and your parent than they are about providing an education. If you listen to the Monday special testimony given by the school boards, teachers, and students that flew in from over 17 of the 54 districts, I believe it was 27 districts altogether that was totally represented there. They spent over $50,000 to be in Juneau this past 2 weeks, and that is the minimum they spent. With all the special seminars, conventions, rooms they rented, convention halls that were rented if they weren't donated, which I highly doubt. They've all got to be flooding that money out there. I would suspect somewhere in over 50,000, be closer to around 150,000 was spent this last 2 weeks of our school districts, our teachers, our school boards, all flying down to Juneau using our money, us, you, me, our money. That's our money. The people's money is what they're spending to go lobby to steal more of we, the people's money. This has got to come to an end. The only way that's going to happen is you guys get off your toucans, and I'm done being nice about saying this. Get off your goddamn and get your butts out there and start getting active. Call in and testify. If you didn't get a chance to testify today, send them an email. Get active. If your voice isn't being heard, they don't know you exist. All they hear is the special interests that are flooding the phone lines. The last 2 days that they've given testimony on just SB52, the base student allocation, the only people making it through was the special interest. The only oddballs was a couple that got in through the phone line somehow, because the special interests that had their own special little private testimonies on Monday were the same ones calling in. And if it wasn't for Senator Hughes and Senator Schnauer being able to testify in person in Juneau, the opposition to what the rest of everybody else was saying would never even be heard, let it in a concise form that's understandable. Again, we need to get active. We need to do things to prevent this and get it over with. I am really disgusted with the Senate Education Committee. You can see it on the Friday schedule every single week since they've gotten into session. And it's not just the Education Committee. It is every member in the House and the Senate. All the committees. The calendar is virtually empty. The meetings get canceled. This is no different here. They allowed me to publicly testify. I was the only one that did. The only person that probably had the time to even get a call into them. Most of you guys were probably still trying to pick up the phone or just received notification I had gone live, time to testify, by the time they were already closing out testimonies. No chance whatsoever. And then they made sure that the SB52 base student allocation that was supposed to be there talking again today didn't even bring it up. We're going to give you more time to make even more amendments to a bill that most Alaskans completely reject. Why are we giving more money to the school districts when they can't even do the job at double to nearly triple the cost of anywhere else in the nation? Again, they're disingenuous and they lie. I pointed that out in my testimony. We have 130,000 students roughly, about 129,000 depending on which numbers you want to go by. At $1,000 per student, that only comes up to $130 million. They've doubled that to $260 million. That's why I was asking, have they all been taught with the new math that they're teaching in schools nowadays, where now each student is not equivalent to one student. Each student is now equivalent to two students. Are you so stupid? See, me standing here, I'm now two people. That's what they're trying to tell me. How dumb are you? That's where we come up with the $260 million from, because there's two of you. Didn't you know that? Yes. There's he and she, they and them. He, it, there, they, why, who, oh my God, the diversity, inclusion, and equity, the die agenda in school gets me confused all the time. I mean, if you even go and look at Senator Tobin's Twitter feed, and she has her pronouns pronounced there, she, her. So I hope that just tells you right where the chair of the committee sits when it comes to their ideology out there. And yeah, the only reason why I got to see the post is because I follow Ivy Spinonsaltz, because, you know, who doesn't like following Poison Ivy? And she happened to like the post about her talking about what she was talking about. And but no, to see that they are on their social media channels out there promoting their pronouns tells you right where their ideology of their thinking is at and where they're looking to take the agenda that's happening down there in Juneau. There is no questioning it. You really need to open up your eyes and see what's going on. Those, if you're watching right now, if you're in Anchorage, please start going to the school board meetings, start showing up at the public meetings, start testifying against the woke agenda. If you don't get in there and start being active, they're going to continue to keep doing what they're doing. We need to get vocal. We need to get in their face. We need to make sure it is public. We need to make sure that we are constantly bringing up the issues to them. These woke ideologies that they are promoting within our schools needs to be put into check. That is what is one of the major downfalls of why our education system throughout the entire United States is tanking, not just here in Alaska. But Alaska, we're special. We do it our own way. That's why we're ranked the worst in the nation at double to triple the cost. And now they want another $260 million that they have no idea where they're going to come up with that money from, other than stealing it from our children's PFDs. That is all I'm going to say today. You can find this live today on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook at Politadick and Politadick Unfiltered. Every time we go live, you can always find it on our website at politadick.com. And while you're there, please click that support button. All support goes right back into making sure that I don't have to be out there doing my normal job and can be reporting on the politics that our mainstream media wants to keep hidden and covered up, including those corrupt legislators down there in Juneau. You'll find this on Rumble probably within the next 6 hours. I want to change that. Please go to rumble.com, type in my name, Politadick, Politadick. Follow, subscribe, click the bell to get notified. If nothing else, like me and follow me there on Rumble. I need to reach 100 people, so you guys don't have to wait 6+ hours to see this video on Rumble. You'll be able to watch it live. Yes, that is my goal. I want to be able to go live on Rumble every time I go live. One place that they cannot cancel me, they cannot shut us down. Unfiltered, uncut. That's what we need to make happen, and you guys can make that happen by doing a simple thing. Even if you're not a Rumble subscriber, just go there, start up an account, like me. You don't have to follow anybody. You don't even have to click it so that you get notifications on your phone or anything else. Just become a subscriber and you're done. But you're helping me be able to have one more place to go to. It's painless, doesn't cost you anything but just a little bit of your time, and it's greatly appreciated. You guys all have yourselves a wonderful weekend. If I hear of anything else going on this weekend, I'm sure I'll get back live again. This coming up Monday, again, you'll find me at the Alaska School of Government with Kelly Chewbacca, and there were Alaskans for Honest Elections, and they are the democracy working group to try to restore, as they say, democracy, which is just playing on words. They are actually trying to restore our republic and our accountability within our election system and get ranked choice voting repealed. Help them out, and if you want to learn more about it, tune into my broadcast on Monday at 7 p.m. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of testimony or committee hearing that I will be streaming on Monday. I just got to look at the schedule to figure out what next week is going to look like for me and try to capture as much of what we need to be on top of as I possibly can. Thank you guys all once again. Have a wonderful weekend. Bundle up, stay warm, and get ready for that snowstorm coming through the southeast of Alaska. We'll see you guys all the next time.